Just getting here in this kind of remote location and seeing the need, that to me was the first thing that ran goosebumps over my body.
Ke feel sentle nou yana because ke itse dilo tse dingata.
Actually achieved something which I wanted to achieve in a long period.
It's very exciting to me to train 26 people from the community.
I can say it's a wonderful thing.
This is my dream. This school is my dream. This is what kept me going. Because God is loving and provides. Mablomo again was chosen to pilot this new building.
The beauty and strength of this project is the level of community involvement.
Handing out classrooms doesn't work. We stand behind or next to communities to get them to solve their own problems. In this case, helping them to build their own schools.
We decided about 2 years ago that we needed to get involved in projects that have to do with skills development. What actually attracted us to this particular one was twofold. It's our association with the Rattray Foundation, and it's the uniqueness of the concept.
Educational institutions that we create should be responsive to each and every given environment. In the area of creating buildings, one for the majority of people who are actually poor, from the point of view of their indigenous cultures and socialization, I don't think we're doing much of that.
Now, this really caught my imagination because I thought if we could create an aspirational model globally for how the poor could build their own schools, and with the aesthetics and strength of unique African architecture, we had a chance of doing that.
What is happening here is a world first. You have the combination of traditional African design with modern technology and modern design.
It's not something new. It's something that our forefathers have always used in building traditional African huts in the past.
There's also a very strong green ethic.
Very little cement is being used.
There's a huge flat roof on this building which is ideal for harvesting water.
It's self-regulating in terms of temperature.
There's thatch in the ceilings which is natural. We harvested ourselves.
It uses everything that you can find in the environment.
So there's very little carbon emissions that were created out of this building.
It's just perfect.
The Great Wall of China was built using rammed earth techniques. It's not widely acknowledged in South Africa, and we chanced upon it.
The unique things of rammed earth is that we use sand. We dig a meter down just to get past all the topsoil, then we use that subsoil in our rammed earth process. And you can see the lines, that's how each layer is compacted. So that's a compacting line there, that's the next compacting line, and that's the next one there. So that's how we ram it into the formwork. Yeah.
The building standards that apply are the same as any building.
So the engineer showed us how to do the foundations right, and he had a few specifics.
We tended to over-engineer the building slightly. So for example, when they told us to use 8mm reinforcing bar, we would use 12mm, and sometimes if they said we only needed to use 3 pieces, we would use 4 pieces.
The building is structurally sound and has been signed off by an engineer.
You use resources around you, because thatch was cut just around here. There's a lot of thatch. Sand was dug behind the school here.
The advantage is that we're using locally mined sand, a small percentage of cement, and a very high labor content, which is appropriate for engaging the community, so we can bring the costs down to a fraction of conventional benchmarking building costs.
African people also, have always built their own buildings. You need to find building methods which involve the people.
The level of community ownership of this project is going to ensure that it's not just one of those initiatives where people simply hand over a structure to a community and then walk away from it.
And I'm very happy to be here. We are learning a lot of skills.
Thutile ka paving, ka ceiling, ka level,
setting out of a building, transferring levels. The skills that I have, I'm going to take them in future to change my life.
If they maintain the skills, they'll be able to use them in their day-to-day lives because they live in shacks.
I want to build my own house.
It makes me want to build more.
Even myself, I can do it also in my own private building or even at home.
We had people from the local squatter camps, the poorest of the poor, who we had to integrate with people from the deep rural KwaZulu-Natal.
And I'm going to use those skills when I'm going back at home at KZN again.
That is probably the most satisfying project I've ever done, because just to see the people getting the skills, that's been a great pleasure. Yeah.
We were also trained, and it gave a proper understanding and meaning.
We trained them on a short skills program whereby we focus on how can they be able to integrate the building.
When the building was going on, children were time and again be brought here to have a look at their uncles, their moms who were working here to see exactly how it went about. You will be surprised to see how much technology is involved, art is involved in here, natural sciences.
This partnership should grow from strength to strength because we are having so many challenges as a department.
And while this is a small beginning, and we don't want to get ahead of ourselves, I think this has shown that the pilot gives us the confidence to start building an expansion plan, and hence Avengers have announced phase 2.
We believe that the pilot has been a success and that we're now taking this relationship to the next level.
It's the strength of the human spirit. It's the potential of the human beings that are currently being stuck in the mud of poverty. But if we find ways of liberating them, inspiring them to take ownership of their challenges and resolving those challenges, that really is where I think the solution to poverty can be found.
It's a celebration to show the world what the poorest of the poor can actually do if they're just given the tools and some support.